Hey, Tyler.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. It's Tuesday again. Means we get to chat.
Tuesdays. That's right. Tuesdays with
Yeah.
Tyler. This is great.
Favorite day of the week.
I don't know if it's my favorite day, but I'm getting used to it.
Good. So we wrote a blog a while back about what happened to Lone Fir back in 2017 and
Yeah.
how it really changed us. I wasn't here in 2017, but you sure were. Can you tell
I,
me what happened to Lone Fir in 2017?
I had a front row seat in 2017. It was great. Let's see. We lost like half our agency revenue in like 30 days. It was
Oh
like
man.
five clients that split for a number of reasons. I think there was only one of them that was like, hey, we're not happy with what we're doing and we're moving on. Others were, I think one got acquired, one hired internally, standard things that happen to agencies on
Hmm.
a regular basis. But it was like a perfect storm because it all happened in like a really condensed short period of time. Um, so yeah, I mean that's what kind of happened. I honestly, I'm kind of spacing on when it happened, but I think it was like end of Q1, kind of like all like late February to late March, kind of like that time frame. I think is when it
Okay.
happened. So yeah.
Well, how did that make you feel?
Oh, it's great. You're just holding on for dear life at that point. No, it was terrifying, like any business owner, because I'm naturally super optimistic, smiley, looking at the best case scenarios and everything, type of an individual. But it definitely makes you kind of like cringe a lot, and
Hmm.
you try your best to not freak out, or at least show you're not freaking out. Because at that point, you're paying people salaries, and it's their livelihood, it's your livelihood, and you're kind of watching it tank very quickly. And so you definitely have to, I would say it's a scramble moment, for at least it was for us. So
Yeah. And I know this is saying super cheesy. Every cloud has a silver lining.
sure.
But we like pivoted our business and
Yeah.
changed a lot about what we do. What did you do to like help us become profitable again and kind of shift our sales?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that happened, but I would say a couple things that stick out to me were really just evaluating why didn't it work with those clients? Whether they got acquired, whether they hired people, it doesn't matter. But more so, like, why is it that we got cut essentially
Yeah.
in any of those scenarios? And I think one of the things that we took away from that, hindsight's always great, but one of the things we took away from it was that we just trusted when brands came to us that they knew their audience, they knew their message, they knew what was working, what wasn't. And so then they come to us and say they want to, whatever, write new homepage copy, or run PPC ads, write emails, whatever the task or initiative is. And we just start writing because you're just assuming again that they're dialed with what they're selling or how they're positioning themselves. And so I think looking back on it, just realizing that, man, we can't do that anymore, and we really have to come up with some sort of a process that we run people through when we first start working with them. And so enter being a story brand agency at that point, we just kind of grabbed onto their framework that story brand kind of has come up with. I know that there's lots of different pieces and inputs to that, but it's got their name on it right now. And so we started implementing that with all of our clients really out of the gate. So that was kind of like, at this point, we don't even really work with clients unless we can dive into building their messaging filter or building their brand script kind of up front, just so that we have a good understanding of what their company does, what their products do, their services do, what problems they solve, and whatnot. So that was definitely one of the takeaways, just kind of, what can we do to keep this from happening again? So, what can you learn from it and those types of things? A couple of other learnings that I took from it were, one is, this is great because it's going to be a repeat for Amanda because we talked about this a little earlier today, but I'm always reminded of it. And so as a business owner and, 100% owner with no partners, is oftentimes people can go, oh, that's great, that's so cool. The other part of it is like, who shares in some of the downsides, and some of the moments where you're trying to pick yourself up off the floor. And so like I have a whiteboard behind me, and one of the numbers I have on the whiteboard is how many successful payrolls we've run. And so because when we're in like, 90 plus successful payrolls at this point, really the 90 seconds going to be, is it all going to hit the fan? No, it's going to be okay. You'll figure it out, And so kind of having some of those things that remind you as an owner, or as just even a contributor to a team, what reminds you, because that businesses have a pulse and they ebb and flow, and they're growing and they're shrinking and they're growing and they're shrinking and they're growing and shrinking. And what are the things that remind you to kind of have that positive outlook and not think the worst is going to happen or whatever, and kind of keep you rolling on every day. So the other piece that we really learned a ton, and all this is the last one I'll share, is optics into finance. And so what do you look at? Like the minute something like that happens, meaning like we lose a bunch of revenue or something, what are you looking at? Like, what are you looking at? Cash in the bank? How many weeks do you have? What's your runway look like? Are there certain expenses maybe that you could cut? Maybe it's software that is ballooned up or something that you might not need, or, could you cut down to one license for that software instead of having 30 for the whole team because only 2 people use it or something. So just really having deep kind of optics into that. So that like where's all the money going, how fast is it going to go out the door, and how do you kind of, I guess kind of corral it or wrangle it if need be. So I could probably keep going on lessons learned because I'm one of those individuals that tries to pull out everything or every nugget you can from challenges. But yeah.
No, I love what you shared. And I feel like it really goes to show when any agency starts out, they start out oftentimes basically as a vendor.
Yeah.
They do what their clients tell them, and they're scrappy and they figure out ways to do things, and they have tools. But as an agency matures and it focuses more on strategy and actually, being the guide to their clients, helping them understand what they need to do, that it really, that's the sweet spot. And also, at our leadership meetings, we go over so many numbers. I'm always like super impressed by all the things that we're tracking. And I think it's important to do that and to know like, okay, this number is going to affect this number in a couple months. And so we need to have this number, be healthy so that all the other numbers can, it all flows together. So totally. Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's even one of the things that I'll just share really fast. One of the things that you just mentioned in our leadership meetings is I think there's a couple different things that I have like individually. And so one of those is just hustle. Like I'm always hustling on something. I'm always working on 20 things at once. And some of that's inefficient. And there's people that are going to like criticize this listening to it, which is fine. But I never want to really take my foot off the gas. And so there's a lot of reasons for that. And it's not only the gas, like the gas pedal of revenue or building a team or whatever the thing is, but it could be, like, hey, don't take your foot off the gas of trying to hit numbers for generating leads for your own business and building your own database, because you never know when you just need to create a quick package deal and send it to them to have quick revenue. Or, there's so many different things like that you just have to constantly be working on. There's so many aspects of the business. And so one of the most beneficial things in growing our team over the years that's been awesome is bringing more people into the process. Yeah. And so as the owner, I'm not the only one that knows all these numbers. There has to be other people that know them so that they're motivated by it, so that you can just go, hey, red flag moment, what should we do? And you have a brainstorm about it and tons of ideas come from it, versus trying to do it on your own or holding all of the weight on your own, and kind of being able to bring in a team to it's been super beneficial. So highly recommend a transparent process, I suppose, amongst your leadership team.
Absolutely. 100% agree. And I love that we always have those kind of random brainstorms and ideas come from them that, save a lot of money or pivot, our business strategy a little bit. And we wouldn't have had them as an individual, but as a group we do.
100%. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. It was great to chat with you today.
Absolutely.
See you next week.
All right. Sounds good. See ya.
Bye.